Bam, I think, is the person who is most responsible for spreading the culture worldwide.
Right.
And for the crossover of the culture. Because Bam and the Zulu Nation.
Different races.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yo, I was telling him about Jimmie Jaz. He was like 13 years old.
Okay.
DJing the Bronx River for Jazz.
Yeah, that was back in the.
You know what I mean?
Like what years? What years is this?
Oh wow, let's see. Actually, the first year I got on the wheels, that when Bam actually let me get on stage. I'm talking about Showtime. I was 13. That was 1978.
1978.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But before that, like the year before that, I was doing my thing up in Jazzy's crib, Jazzy J.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? 1435 Harrod Avenue, da-da-da. You know what I'm saying? Jazzy was kind of like giving me the illustration on the art of scratching.
Yep.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I was sitting there kind of observing things, you know.
Because we bugged on Jazz. When Jazz came to Bronx River, because he was too young to come to Bronx River anyway. We all was anyway.
Right.
But Jazz was the youngest. He was nasty too. He still is. Yeah, he was nasty on the table.
Go ahead.
For the vote of confidence.
Come on, man. Vote of confidence. I'm keeping it real. He's the one that, now him, he's the one that, like Bam back in the day, Bam used to call me and be like, yo, Freeze, meet me downtown on 15th Street and 2nd. And I didn't know that Lower Manhattan stuff. So I used to jump in the Parkway cab, go down to the Grills, the Roxy, Peppermint Lounge and all that stuff. And while the Rock said he used to break dance, I used to MC. Now Jazz, he went down there and took it over. Jazz was the DJ for the celebrities like Cyndi Lauper and all of them back then. When he was a kid. But they liked it because he was the cute kid that was ill on the tables and he knew what to play. Because see, he's the one that actually bridged the hip hop to really make it for the white people and the blacks and the Hispanics. He brought all the worlds together.
Who?
Jimmie Jaz.
Jimmie Jaz.
Jimmie
It was
Jaz.
just like sort of, you know, it was different promoters that I spun for. You know, they had like
sometimes he don't even
different. It was just a eclectic group of individuals. I'm talking about everybody from the Wall Street types to the Lower East Side kids.
Okay.
You know, and then the
movie stars.
yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people, just industry types, you know, artists, musicians, actors, all of it, and, you know, and it's sort of like they came together, and it was just it was kind of an odd mix because you had like, you know, kids uptown, you know, they were coming down there and they, you know, got sort of like immersed into this whole world, you know, and I had to figure out a way, you know, how to like make it work for each and every individual that was in there.
Right,
you know,
right.
how do I make this work in terms of what I, you know, my format, you know what I'm saying, in terms of the music I played or whatever.
Yes.
So my whole thing was I took a page out of Bam's book.
Okay.
You know, Africa Bam Body.
Right.
Bam would play in the center, even, you know, as a kid. I observed things. I watched what he did, and I was saying to myself, I was like, well, this is not necessarily, you know, quote unquote typical, you know, uptown music. You know, he played like European stuff.
Yeah.
pop.
Oh yeah, just
all
it was
kind of stuff.
like a whole like a broad spectrum of music that was introduced to us. You know, us kids uptown. It was introduced all of this music. So I'm taking notes.
Right.
In addition to listening to what he's doing. You know, I'm taking notes of like, okay, like how am I gonna work? And you know, being that he gave me like opportunities to come into different venues and so forth and whatever, gymnasiums, even private events.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And that was those were the parties where I was exposed to like the whole world of like that, like the celebrity. You know, I call that the celebrity world. You know,
because I said Cyndi Lauper, but it was Cindy Crawford.
Let's even make it more simplistic with the words. V.I.P.
Yeah.
The V.I.P.
The
world.
closed door parties that we couldn't get into.
Exactly, the typical. No, I'm not just
and
people.
He ran those.
Not just people that like were from uptown and from the neighborhood or whatever. We're talking about wealthy people that couldn't get past the door, man, unless they knew so and so on. You know, it was like that.
And this is like
Yeah, this is
Early 80s, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because my first actual, gig downtown, I would say, for the record, was CNC Club,
Right.
Celebrity Club.
Yes, right.
That's
That's right.
1980. I was 15
Yes.
years
Yep.
old.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
1980. Now that wasn't downtown, considered downtown. It was uptown Harlem.
Yeah, 125th.
Yeah.
CNC
So that was my
Disco.
first taste of the whole
Yep.
downtown. Because prior to that, I was in the Bronx, T Connection, and wherever else Bam had me come and play.
All that sparkle he below shit.
Bam
When
had
did-
me going- and there was places, man, I had never even heard of people talking about because, I was just a kid,
He was doing the meatpacking district back then when nobody even knew that there was clubs back then.
Yeah, that was.
Because those were really meatpacking districts.
That's what they were.
Those were freezers that housed the meat that was distributed to all the 5 boroughs.
You had Jackie 60.
Yep, yeah.
That was the VIP. That was one of the VIP spots. Mars was more commercial.
Right.
If you had the bread, you could get into Mars. Jackie 60.
No. Yeah,
You had to be so and so and knew this one or that one.
Yes.
It was that sort of situation.
Yo, what's that club next to Jackie's sister? You used to have the baby fridge.
Oh wow!
Remember they used to have the baby dolls and the cribs inside?
Oh my God!
Yo, that was the illest joint
And
I ever
actually,
seen.
I believe, if I'm correct, one of the venues, the film with the girls dancing on the bar was in that area. Tyra Banks was in it.
Yeah. All the models.
The name of that film,
Coyote
Ugly.
Right. That was
That
joint.
venue
Yes.
was around probably like, as far as I remember, when I started going downtown, it was 81.
Yep.
Now the name may be different, and of course in the film they probably had a fictional name for it.
Right.
But that venue was a hot spot in the meatpacking
Meatpacking district.
And that was another spot that was sort of like quote unquote VIP.
Yep. And these are freezers that is meat in there in the day, and then they clean it out. They ship the meat
dudes
out.
were with the
clean it up
outfits.
and
I'm
do
talking about
what?
the white coats and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Rats running around.
How much
The
I got
butcher.
paid for stuff like that?
It was all like Bam. So it was like, you know what I'm saying? Places like that, it was a situation where it was like Bam. So it's like whatever Bam. I don't know. Bam was the man. I was just a kid.
Right.
So whatever bad me tell you.
Yeah, it was me. It was all about exposure.
Exposure.
I
Right.
was in high school. I didn't care about that. The only thing to me was I was concerned about was like, I'm getting light. I'm shining.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, people look at it like, all right, because when you're a kid, everything is, you see the glitz and the glam and all this. So you're not concerned about you're not paying bills. I'm living at home with mom. I just started high school.
What did y'all call it? What did y'all call it then? Was it called hip hop? What did you call it?
Yeah, of course. Well, by then, of course, it was called hip hop.
Yeah, before that was MC.
But it was b-boy and all that.
DJ and B-boy. That's it.
B-boy?
There was no rap.
Webster Avenue.
None of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break dancing.
But him, he's being modest, to be honest with you. I said Cindy Lauper. Cindy Crawford.
Well,
These
yeah, it's
women,
about like the supermodels.
they used to
that whole
request
era,
it.
they-
All of them used to request Jimmie Jaz. Because Jimmie Jaz had that flavor to get their white bone shaker. You know what I'm saying? Like real talk. He was the DJ for request now.
What was fortunate for me was that I happened to spin for DJs and promoters that were really well known in the industry.
Right.
They some who went on to become like huge producers and so forth like that. I'll give you an example. He was already producing music. Mark Kamen, rest in peace. He did Madonna's first song, Everybody.
Right.
A #1 first song.
Okay.
Put her on the map. Well, I spin for Mark Kamen.
Right.
And here's an interesting story I'm gonna tell you guys about. Now this is the first time I think it's gonna be exposed to anyone, but we did a venue. It was Mark's night, and it was called at a space on 48th and 8th, one flight up. It's called the Herald.
Okay.
It was live actual belly dancing.
Yeah.
And he would have live drummers. Guy playing the bongos. His name was Asil Mustafa. Played the bongos, live belly dances. He was from Algeria, British accent, the whole 9 yards. Mark brought me in. Mark came and brought me in to be his scratch artist, to come in, because he would play this Middle Eastern music with incorporate dance, like, you know, dance at that time, which was the stuff Madonna and different ones did, like the pop dance stuff, you know, with some underground as well, you know, club house music, the garage type stuff, Larry Levan stuff.
Before the garage too.
So he had me doing the scratching into this stuff, and the Middle Eastern vocals, the you know, Middle Eastern artists singing their vocals, scratching into this music.
Yeah.
And this was 1983,
Okay.
82, 83. Now, if I'm correct, Rakim's song came out. Rakim's song came out in 87.
Right.
All right.
That's what he got the idea from.
All right. Mark, this is out of Mark's mouth. You know, God rest his soul. He did Jim, the guy who did a lot of production and stuff at 4th and Broadway and different labels. Used to come here. Now, I'm taking his word for it. He said he used to come here and he said, what you were doing.
Right.
He was taking notes because it was just weird how like people started doing the scratching and putting all that stuff, and I was like, I had no clue. I was just doing what Mark asked me to do. He said, Jim, I want you to, you know, incorporate this stuff with your scratching, whatever, into this music. That's what I did, and you know, lo and behold, when these songs came out with the sort of like became popular songs with the dance music, with the Middle Eastern vocals and stuff. We're not just talking about the paid in full thing, but there were various other songs. Various other songs with the dance. That was probably the most popular though.
Right. That one, and then
That
Jay-Z
put
came
the
out with
stamp.
other shit.
Yeah, that was
Way later.
Way later.
Way later.
But for the record, Mark and I, we were doing this stuff in 82, 83.
Yep.
A lot of people not aware of that. Only people that would probably have knowledge of that was people that actually went to the Herald.
Right.
Madonna, for example, was a regular. Malcolm McLaren was a regular. That was a whole little clique.
Yep.
That was a whole little clique. Michael Holman, John Basket, Jean Basket, the artist. All these guys.
I think Herbie too. Herbie Hancock.
He was a little later too though.
Yeah.
Another artist, very well-known artist, Andy Warhol.
Yep.
These people would frequent the Herald.
Yeah.
It was just like a eclectic group of different individuals, like I started out saying, like, and I kind of got known for playing for those individuals. And that's what led into the bigger venues. Those smaller spaces like the Harem that were sort of the VIP places. Because I was doing all these VIP places, you know, and had no ideal or inclination who I was playing for or whatever. I just kind of like, when I was spinning, I wasn't paying attention to so much who was there. It was about, were they moving?
Right.
Are they moving? That was my focus. It's just people moving. I wasn't looking at like, and then like for example, at the end of the night, I would have like people come up to me and say, "Oh man, so and so wants to speak to you. So and so was here." This one. And these were like, you know, very well-known artists. You know, I'm talking about across the board. You know, contemporary artists, singers and actors and everything. It was just, like I said, it was people that, like, you know, some I wasn't even aware of who they were until actually someone explaining to me that this person is who or she, you know, who they may be. And I was like, boy, wow. But anyway, I got caught up in that world through those VIP, you know, parties and venues.
Do you still DJ at all? Or?
Yeah, it's been a while. I mean, like in terms of like regularly. I was doing it regularly.
He's doing it regularly?
Man,
when did you stop? Like from that 82, 83 era, when did you stop?
Oh no, I never stopped.
You never stopped?
I never stopped. I just kept it going on too. Wow.
Tell
whenever anyone wanted
the
me
movies you went to.
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, well, that's a whole nother story with the film stuff, because I was.
But it came from that.
Yeah, it came from that, because I was doing a venue in East Village, Peggy Sue's, and yeah, Peggy Sue's, and a woman by the name of Carol Baker. She was a representative, and may still be at a William Morris agency, which is one of the biggest agencies, I guess, in samples and everything. William Morris agency. I was spinning, and she happened. I guess she must have been there, you know, hearing me spin or whatever. But she just approached me one day and asked me, you know, can I act? And I said, well, I only did a little bit of stuff when I was in school. I went to John Jay College. You know, I didn't graduate, but I went 5 semesters. And I took acting in school and did theater stuff or whatever.
Right.
And I didn't really take her seriously when she had asked me, but she was dead serious. And then she said, here's my card and so forth. I actually never really called her because I didn't know how serious. I didn't even know who William Morris agency was.
Right.
I know now, of course. I had no clue at that time. You know,
That wasn't our job.
I didn't know who. I didn't know. I was just like whatever.
We never heard of you.
I didn't call her. But anyway, this now. Fast forward to I would say maybe a couple of years later, another person approached me, but she asked me about doing commercials.
Right.
Commercials and print work and so forth or whatever. And her name was Marjorie Graham, and she was a booking agent at Ford Models.
Big booking agent.
Yeah, Ford Models. Marjorie Graham. And she was dead set about me doing this, you know, the commercials or whatever. And she sent me to acting school.
Okay.
To acting coach, the theater. Yeah, Robert Warrens. And he worked with a lot of like soap actors and whatever. Now mind you, I'm still not taking this stuff seriously.
Okay.
I'm just
Let them know they paid for the acting school.
Yeah, yes.
Because he was like the golden boy for the
paid
celebrities.
for the acting classes, but I still wasn't really taking it seriously. And all those years had passed. We'll just fast forward up to I actually started taking it seriously.
Right.
Now I'm fast forwarding to 1997.
Okay.
I got a scholarship through the Bronx River Housing Project to go to well, it was on an audition. You know, then for people, you know, low income to go out and audition for the arts. And they weren't looking for singers, actors, and whatever, people that wanted to involve themselves in the arts. So I just took it upon myself to go, and they held this huge audition for all of the different housing developments and projects at FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology. It was a huge audition down there. It was well over, it was close to 1,000 people there from all of the different projects, surrounding projects. Got up on stage, did our little thing, monologue. So someone told me I had to have a monologue. And they said preferably a comedic and a dramatic piece as well. So I managed to pick out 2 that I liked. One was The Key Exchange by Kevin Wade.
Yep.
That play, that was my comedic monologue. I took a piece from that for my comedic, and the other one, the one I really like, is Charles Fuller play, The Soldier Story, which was the film The Soldier Story.
Right.
Denzel and you know, well-known actors who are very well-known actors now. Adolf Caesar,
Howard Rollins. That's right. Yep.
But anyway, I had those, and get back to the audition. I did the comedic. I got on stage. Now you have, like I said, close to 1,000 people. Then the people we're going to select which individuals we're going to get into Strasbourg, Lee Strasberg Theater Institute, the school I went to. I did my comedic monologue, and she stopped me in the middle of it and said, do me a favor, can you do this directly to this young lady sitting next to me? It was too funny. I did the monologue, getting ready to leave, said to hold up and wait. Out of all of those people that were there, to my surprise, 8 of us got selected to go to school, and I was one of the 8. I was actually the last person called. called out the name. He said, and Jimmie Jones. I was like, wow. Now I'm saying to myself, because I never took any of this stuff seriously, and all the way up to that. This is 1997. I'm still not. I just went down there because I was just trying to seize an opportunity. I'm like, well, if I'm going to audition for this may, lead to something like doing something in the studio. Maybe doing some studio work or meeting some people in the business that could sort of like further what I'm doing with the DJ stuff. That was the whole point of going to it. But one thing led to another, and got into the school and started going on auditions and so forth, and got a few gigs, and that's the acting part of it. My last feature was 2003, Beyond Recognition. You can see it online. It's beyondrecognitionmovie.com or Beyond Recognition Movie on Google, and I'll give you a glimpse of that part of what I did.
Okay.
Like, entertainment. That's how I label it, entertainment.
All right. So I mean, as far as like early hip hop, so you can say you one of our unsung hip hop pioneers, right?
Yeah.
Definitely.
No question about it.
I'm telling you, he was the golden boy for the celebrities. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody wanted him. You know what I mean? And he was just like a phenomenon in Bronx River when he got on the stage around the turntables. First of all, you had to be somebody to get behind them ropes anyway. If you got on the mic, said a whack rhyme, you got knocked out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you messed up on them turntables, you got beat down. You feel me? So he was mad young. You feel me? And everybody said, yo, what's up with this little kid on the turntables, this and that? But he tore it down. Tore it down. Yeah.
Jim is the first dude ever
Yep.
to have a TV show.
Yep.
Graffiti Rock,
Right.
That was
which
84.
brought hip hop to mainstream television.
That's right.
And that's before the Ralphie show. That's before.
Graffiti Rock, you said a show?
Yep. Graffiti Rock.
Yeah. That's before.
Oh yeah.
He's the reason why I started doing some
MTV.
stuff. Because he stepped off. I'm telling you, he stepped off.
Yeah, well, how that
all of that video.
Because how that came about was music. I don't know why I bypassed all of that, but
Right.
You was raised in Bronx River.
yeah, Bronx. I'm from Bronx.
Yeah.
So is it? But like I try to tell people because they people seem to, or at least assume I'm a lot older than I am. I'm actually 48 at the moment.
That's relatively young.
So yeah, I mean, because when you're going back historically, on hip hop and the culture and so forth, they're looking at it like, well, being that I know I was there, so I know to a certain degree of the historical part from the beginnings, the origin. But I try to tell people, and I'm very adamant about getting across that my best accounts, a recollection comes from about the time I was 12, which is 1977.
Yeah.
The year of the blackout. Because mind you, I hadn't got on stage yet. I was not. I didn't get. I wasn't on stage yet. I'm only 12 years old. I'm kind of like, all right. Here's another one for the record. Cool DJ Tyrone, the mixologist, the first person I ever saw scratch.
Cool D and Tyrone.
And I want to make that clear because people assume that since I'm from Bronx River, automatically I saw Jazzy J do it or whomever it was.
Nah, dude.
Tyrone happened to come there and be spinning with Mario Bam that day.
Yes,
and I'm outside just, like I was as a kid, just messing around and see these guys, they hooking up, Bam, and hooking up, and I'm watching. Now, mind you, I've seen the mixing before, but I'm talking about the actual scratching.
Yeah.
That's what was like that amazed me. I was marveled by it because I can illustrate exactly how it went.
So you saying, because they so I didn't mean to interrupt you. You were saying something about mixologist Tyrone.
Yeah. He happened to be out. It was a summer. It was in the summer of '77, the year of the blackout.
Right.
The infamous blackout.
And I tell you, I gave you the pre-blackout.
And this is the right. So that year was very. Oh man, it was just like for everybody there. If you were in the Bronx, especially in the Bronx, New York City at that time, you remember details.
Yeah.
People have specific details that they remember about that day.
Okay.
not necessarily that year.
That
summer.
That day itself is just a marker.
Thank you.
That's a marker in your whole life.
Yeah,
Like,
everything.
You remember this happened before and this happened after.
Anybody
Reggie Jackson's 3 home runs.
That's
And see,
all
look,
that.
and just like you said,
Reggie.
and when Jazz came, but see, look, he was like the young golden child phenomenon.
Okay.
That's what Jazz was. Because Jazz was younger than all of them. You know what I mean? And the way he put it together was insane.
Who can I talk to that would know?
This is the first Jim Jones.
Okay, but that's like 1980, 1979, 1980,
Hell
right?
no! What was that, Jim? What was that? What was that? Up in Jazzy House practicing.
and the day after, look,
77, you
the
said.
day after
77.
I saw. It wasn't that same day, but the day after I saw cool DJ Tyrone and Mickey just do that scratch. And I'm gonna illustrate it because I like people to know this for the record. It went just like this. He was standing there and then he had the turntables. I can't remember exactly. I think the mixer was the club mix.
Right.
The original
Right. The first
And if I'm
one.
correct, he had the turntables with the wood around them.
Right. The SL1000.
It had the wood around them. And I remember, you know, the Clubman mixer had the wooden paddles on the side, so it just looked cool. So I'm looking at this, and he's standing there. You know, he got his big afro looking like, you know, Jackson 5, Shaft, whatever. He just stopped in the middle of blending.
Right.
He said blending with the crossfader. He just stopped in the middle of it. And he had an Apache.
Okay.
Bungo band. He just stopped and he went zit, 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 zit.
That was his
zit,
set.
zit, 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 zit. That's all I had to see.
Yes.
I paused in amazement. Like I said, I was marveled.
Yep.
Paused and I was like,
That was his routine.
oh wow. This is me now. Oh wow.
Shooting me at the brick.
That was cool. No, literally. I said, that was
Remember
cool.
Bowden Brothers?
All right. He did it again on the other side.
Shot him in his fucking head.
A simple scratch, but that was his
I'm
routine.
I said to myself, I could do that.
Ronald Timmons.
Right.
And that's when you started. And that's
I'm-
77.
I'm breaking it down.
Yeah.
That's
Went
77.
upstairs.
Right.
Went upstairs. I didn't even wait to finish watching him play. Went upstairs. Went on my mother's plastic turntable.
Yep. The components.
Took one of my mother's albums to the plastic turntable. Put it on.
This is real though.
And went like this. Zit, 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 zit. I got it. I got it. I'm getting another turntable.
Right. And
There we
see,
go.
Cool
That's the
DJ
start of
G
me.
and Tyrone, they from
That's the
Saquon.
start of me.
Saquon is
start of
the
me.
sound right.
Right.
These are our DJs coming up. The Rockzilla crew, Cool DJ D, Tyrone.
No, most people
all
don't know
of
this.
them.
That's a high
And they help bring flowers over here.
Everything else.
DJ From,
History has its
DJ
example.
Sinbad.
Sinbad.
This before Cass was Casanova Fly.
Square up.
So you saying your first
I'm talking about that
introduction,
first party.
your first introduction to hip hop was 77 with Tyrone and McSally?
Not that
Do you remember them coming to the
Not that
Bronx
I
River?
witnessed. No, not that I witnessed, but I'm saying my introduction into like, all right, you got. Now, mind you, I'm a young kid, and I'm, you know, just like every other kid, playing with my bikes and and doing this. I'm not concerned about what a DJ was, what a party was.
Yeah, of course they did.
Nothing. All I was concerned about was making my bikes. I used to make bikes, build
Right.
bikes. So I cared about.
Jazzy too.
And
That's
make
where you got that
skateboards.
from, too.
I used to make skateboards and bikes.
Yep.
I didn't care about none of what was going on. I would hear the music, but while everybody was down there doing their thing with all that, I was up the hill, because in Bronx River, and on my side, it's called the hill.
Right.
I'm up the hill trying to worry about my bikes, even though everybody's down there in the circle party or whatever. Now I'm talking about prior to 77, I'm talking about 76, 75, whatever. I'm 10, 11 years old. I don't care what they doing down there. I care about making my bike,
Right.
making my skateboard.
I'm not telling you about the
But
bikes.
anyway, when that you know, when that was unveiled to me, the art of the scratch thing by cool DJ Tyrone, the mixologist, when he did that, that changed the whole. That changed my whole how I viewed what was going on with the music. It just changed my whole outlook about what this was about. And I don't know what it. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know what it was labeled before that.
Right.
I started finding out what was this and this and that. I didn't even know what a mixer was until that day.
Right.
Because when he did it, now mind you, I had seen it prior to that. You know, like I said, the things was going on, but I was concerned with my bikes and my skateboards and these and different things. But when I saw him do that,
That's how I think about
now I want to know what kind of turntable is this?
Interested.
Yeah.
What
Didn't even watch the whole routine.
What is a mixer? I mean, what functions does a mixer do? I'm like from that day on, I immersed myself in anything that had to do with DJing. Each and anything. The equipment, I wanted to know what was everything. It's just like how I was with the bicycle. As a kid, when I got into bikes, I knew every brand of bike that was out. You know what I'm saying? You had the Swin, the Apollo 5, I made those. Apollo 3, before the 5.
Yeah, the 3 with the round knob.
3. Yep. I mean, I was, like I said.
That drag strips.
That's
But
right.
see,
With the
that's how I met Jazzy J. I'm telling you, Jazzy was making bikes.